In 1989, Mario fervor was at an all-time high. While the American public had been fed the crumbs of Super Mario Bros. 2, rumors were swirling that an even grander follow-up was on its way. Released in 1988 in Japan, that follow-up was Super Mario Bros. 3. The delay in release for Western audiences gave Nintendo more time than ever to market the game, and boy did they ever market. They spent the modern equivalent of $65 million on commercials, culminating in the greatest commercial of them all, The Wizard, in which Fred Savage showed the game off to the US for the very first time in cinemas. The Wizard saw middling success at the box office, but the Mario train could not be stopped. Kids were voracious in their desires to get their greedy little hands on the game, to experience classic Mario gameplay with brand new elements, new enemies, new bosses, new power-ups, greater level variety, and for the first time ever, a world map. Super Mario Bros. 3 became one of the highest grossing games on the NES and one of the highest grossing games of all time, proving concretely that video games were a cultural force with the financial potential to outdo even blockbuster films. With the Super Nintendo on the horizon, Mario 3 was something of a swan song for the NES, one more triumphant chance for Nintendo to show off their talents in the gaming business. Today, we kick off our second season by donning our raccoon suits, blowing our warp whistles, and taking to the skies as we chant, Mario! 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 It's a video game podcast.
Wow!
And there's so much to discuss. One of us knows all about them.
That's you.
And the other one's a dunce.
That's me.
You're gonna learn about the very best games with two annoying dorks.
Fatality.
From asteroids to Zelda, from adventure to Zork. We have no life and we feel no shame. We need your help, 'cause we're bad with games. Welcome to the show. My name is Jonathan.
My name's Will.
And we are Bad with Games.
Season 2.
Wow.
I thought maybe you'd say Season 2 along with me.
I did. You didn't hear it?
Oh. Well, you'll edit that in post.
Yeah, I'm going to add it
Make
in
it
post.
work, yeah.
Season 2, that's right. We're officially kicking off the second semester of your gaming education this week on the pod. Wow.
Oh, you mean
we're all
yeah.
so excited.
We're kicking it off this week on the pod. I thought you were going to announce. You're very confusing today. Listen, last season, I started off as a gaming noob, you might say. And I ended my final exam with a score of gaming enthusiast. And so we're all very excited to see what kind of progress I might make this semester. Isn't that right?
Thanks for the recap for people who missed last season.
Everyone was champing at the bit to know. I don't know what they were doing. I was trying to think of a video game thing, but I didn't really
They
know.
were chain chomping at the bit.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yep, that's why I'm the expert on this show. Hope everybody's excited. Hope you're all having fun. It's been, even the last few weeks we've been doing quizzes, we've been doing bundle episodes. Now we're getting back to just straight ahead, one episode, one game, full deep dive into it. And this week's game to kick things off is Super Mario Bros. 3.
Crazy, we've already done 2 of these. We're on the third
Break
already.
for applause. Yeah, this is our first 3. We've never done a third game before. This is our first 3.
Yeah, that's cool, I guess.
That's really cool.
But
Our
who's Mario
first
4?
3?
That's the question.
I know. Well, they still haven't come out with that one. I've been waiting for it for decades. Where's Mario 4? God damn it. Anyway, if you're new to the show, thanks for joining. You can always watch us on YouTube. at Bad with Games to see footage of us playing the game this week, or you can just listen to us in your little ears wherever you get your podcasts. Little Porky Pig there for you.
Oh, I thought that you saw maybe a boo. It was
Well,
ghost.
And if you like the show, which I know you do, please support us by checking out patreon.com/badwithgames, because you'll get bonus episodes. We're talking about extra ancillary video game content. Call that extracurricular.
Holy shit.
Yeah, check that out for sure. And that's your patch notes for this week. Do you have any patch notes you need to provide?
No, I think that's all the patch notes.
Well, then I think we can move on to our lore dump. I gotta be honest, I don't really relish the idea of having to say dump every week.
Yeah, didn't we get a different suggestion for this? Like a better one than that?
I like lore, though. I want to call it something with lore.
You'd think we'd have this down by season 2.
Look, here's the truth. I was hoping, it's the start of a new season. I thought we would come into this with all our things finalized and fun stuff ready to go, but we didn't take a break. Last week was Christmas. This week is New Year's Eve when this episode is coming out. Like it's just been a busy time. I've been traveling. I'm a bit scattered over here. This is like one of those seasons that kind of has a slow start and you have to tell people stick with it. It gets better as it goes.
I think it's fine. Because we're picking up where we left off, and I think we ended on a high note. It really is. We just work too hard is what it is.
God, we really do. Patreon.com/badwithgames. Now, our lore.
Lorio.
Let's enter the lore zone. Past listeners will kind of be aware of your history with the Mario franchise. We've talked about it 2 Mario games previously, 3 if you count Donkey Kong, which
that's true.
I do. Do I?
I mean, at this point, my Mario history is like 90% this show. It's kind of drowned out. I barely even remember what my thoughts on Mario were before I started.
Right. So was there any, as far as Mario 3 is concerned, how much of this was brand new to you in terms of, because there are some new features in this, new elements, the raccoon tail, some sort of iconic things that people recognize from this game. Was any of that something you were aware of, or was this a brand new journey for you?
I mean, I was aware of the fact that Mario had suits in some of the games, right? Like a frog suit and a raccoon suit and all of that. And I was aware of some of the kinds of powers that you would get from them. You see Mario in suits occasionally, notably in Tails Gets Trolled. Mario uses different suit powers to fight the Troll King. So, it's like I do have some reference material to work with here. I wouldn't have been able to tell you that was from Mario 3. I wouldn't have been able to tell you anything about Mario 3 in particular. So I don't really know that I have much to add.
I guess the Fire Flower, I mean, technically that's a suit. Like his clothes do change.
Mm-hmm. Yes, as you pointed out to me.
Yes. Oh boy. I guess there really are no suits in Mario 2. Are there even power-ups? No. It's just a mushroom and you throw stuff, right? And a star.
I think that's it.
But there's no.
I think that's it.
Yeah,
the Fire Flower, it's a flower. You're not wearing it. Like, it changes the color of your clothes. I think they're the same clothes. It just changes the color.
Okay.
I don't think it's a suit.
I think you're right.
It's not like he's got a big flower thing on his head with petals surrounding it,
Yeah, this is the first instance of suits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my history with Mario 3 is what it is. I've played a lot of it before. It is still in that era where, again, my first real console was a Super Nintendo because I'm very young. So Mario World was really the first one that I truly was there, like felt like I was there at the time, so to speak, even though they're
Hmm.
like 2 years apart. And I also didn't play it until a few years later. But regardless, I did, of course, go back and play Mario 3. And again, I had the Mario All Stars collection on Super Nintendo. So I was familiar with this game from a young age. However, this was another one of these things on my bucket list where, like with Mario 2, I I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think I ever completely played through all of Mario 3 before this week. I I couldn't quite remember as I was playing it how far I got, and there's some things I'm like, "Oh, no, I remember this level," and some levels I didn't remember, but I'm not sure if that's just because, oh, they reused this in another game and maybe I think I remember it, but I don't, or maybe I did beat this and I forgot one time. I don't know. But but this week I did play through the whole game start to finish, and it is a game that was released originally on the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1988. But as you might expect, sort of a trend, in North America, it didn't come out here until 1990, which is kind of significant because the Super Nintendo comes out in 1991, as does Mario World, as does Sonic the Hedgehog. So it is a strange environment that this game, by the time this game comes out in America, the NES is sort of on its way out. Even though in Japan, there were still a couple good years of the NES left. This sort of felt like, oh, in some way, I think in some regions this came out even later, and they kind of looked at this like this is sort of dated, maybe. But for us here, we're going through this in Japanese chronological order to try to avoid any of those confusions. Oh, we got to do the box art breakdown.
Yes, the box art breakdown. I'll try to retain some of that information you just said to me, but I was only half listening, so
It's fine. You have another 6 months until you need to remember it for the next
yeah,
exam.
the next exam. That's right.
This box art here, Super Mario 3 Bros. It's got the title up at the top in big letters,
Hmm.
yellow background, and there's Mario front and center, flying his arms, doing the Naruto run with the
Hmm.
raccoon ears and tail.
He looks pretty good on this cover, I gotta say. Like I like this. This is a much more modern Mario design, I think, than we've been seeing in the arts, right? I feel like it's been a little bit, I don't know, hit or miss. Like they haven't quite gotten that feel yet. But this right here, this is just Mario as I know him, right?
I think that's true. If you look in the instruction manual as well, it's pretty close to the modern design. Like there's some little, like maybe he's a little shorter and a little squatter than a modern
Hmm.
Mario would be. But you'll still see these designs in a lot of places. Whereas, the Mario 2 versions are kind of not used anywhere.
Yeah, like his mustache is correct. His like eyes and nose are correct. He doesn't have. He's not weird, right?
He's not weird. Yeah, I think in many ways, this art and this game kind of represent Nintendo really honing in on what Mario is and
Hmm.
and being like, okay, we kind of had our we broke some new ground. We did this weird Mario 2 thing for a minute that wasn't really ours. And now here we are, like, let's really give it a go. And yeah, that looks like how you think Mario's supposed to look. I mean, this is really such an iconic box art. It's hard not to use the word iconic a million times in this
Hmm.
episode, but it's so simple. It's just him on a yellow background, but man, the color choice is so good. I mean, there's not even how many choices did they really make? Like Mario's
Hmm.
clothes are already determined. They just decided it looks good on yellow, but it works. It works
It
really well.
it does work, but I gotta say, I do think that, and you might totally disagree with this, and I
Uh-oh.
could see you totally disagreeing with this. I
Uh-oh.
do look at this, and I think it's not clear to me on the box art what's happening, right?
Okay.
He is like leaping forward or something. Now, of course, we know from playing the game that what he's actually doing is flying, right? Um, But here, I don't really know. Is he doing like a belly flop? Is he just excited? Like, what's going on? I think that it might have been a little bit better to have some context if the background, let's say, was like a light pastel blue and there were like maybe some clouds. I don't think you want detail, right? I think having detail in the background would detract from, what you said, the simplistic Mario that's your entire attention. But I feel like if I picked this up, I'd be like, oh, cool. Mario's a raccoon now. Whereas if you put a sky in the background, I'd be like, holy shit, Mario flies? Oh my God, he flies in this. They fly now, right? Just a
Right.
little marketing idea I'm having here.
I agree with your initial premise that you don't really know necessarily what he's doing here, that he's flying.
Mm.
But I vehemently disagree that they should change the color. The yellow is perfection. It's just what it makes this box art pop. I think if you made this blue, you fucked up and you should be fired from the marketing team.
I don't know. I think you could. I don't know that Mario here. Like, Mario is not. In the games, Mario pops against a sky background. Like, he doesn't need to be against yellow to pop.
He
Like,
does
obviously.
here.
Obviously, the text and everything here does. You couldn't keep this blue text on a light blue background. Like, maybe the text becomes gold or something. I don't know. But I don't think that you necessarily, like, the important part, the Mario, I don't think you need it to be yellow to
I just
pop
think
him.
a sky background is sort of generic. How many game images can you think of that have a yellow background? There aren't that many. I feel like
Zelda.
Mario, it stands. That's not yellow. That's gold, and you know it. You fucking know it's gold.
Mhm.
You piece of shit.
I'm just saying that, like, that would get me hyped. That would make me think, holy crap,
Well, you're
Mario,
stupid.
he flies.
No, you should be hyped because you're like, he's a fucking raccoon. What's going on? It creates a mystery box.
Listen,
This is
I'm
the
an
J.J.
American.
Abrams school.
Okay, when I see a raccoon, I don't immediately think that it flies, okay? Maybe in Japan, that's just understood, okay? Maybe this would be fine for the Japanese box art, because they know raccoons fly over there. But for me, I don't know. It's just he's just got a little raccoon tail.
You
Like,
know what?
that's cute. He's a little
I'm going to
raccoon
go
boy.
back on what I said before, too. I think it is clear he's flying. I think he looks like he's flying.
I don't think it does. I think you only think that because you already know it. If you didn't know
No,
anything about
you
this
can
game,
tell.
you walked in the
Look at
store, you're
his
like,
feet.
holy shit.
Look at his feet. His feet are off the ground. He's clearly not running.
Yeah, he could be, he could be leaping. He could be, like,
That's
belly
fine.
flopping.
He's
He could be
leaping.
falling. I don't know what he's doing.
He's leaping into flight. It's the transition from
Yeah,
running to jumping to flight.
because you know that.
You don't
But
need
you
to
wouldn't
know it,
know it.
though.
It's abstract with
find
no
that
background.
out.
It's okay, but, like, the point of marketing is not to say, like, well, somebody could find out what my product is, so I don't need to market it.
I
Like,
don't
that's
care about
bull.
that.
Come on.
This cover works on multiple levels because the first time you see it, you're like, huh, I don't know what's going on there. And then later you're like, I'm smart. I know what that is now because I'm in the inside club. I'm a cool Mario guy.
I think that you just don't like to consider alternative possibilities. You heard, what if things were different? Could that maybe be an improvement?
it's
What could
worse.
be changed? And you were
It's
like,
not-
no,
I
it couldn't
considered it and
possibly
it's
be better.
not.
Everything is perfect as it
couldn't.
is. The world
Yes.
couldn't be made better. I hate you for even suggesting such a thing. I will
Listen.
not consider.
Listen,
That's
this is
you.
one
That's what you sound
of
like.
the most beloved, remembered box arts in history. You're coming in here like
don't know
someone
about this.
who's never been inside a museum, and you're like, Mona Lisa, I feel like they could make the background blue instead. That's what you sound like right now.
I just
It's
don't.
insanity.
This doesn't seem like that iconic to me. I don't know this box art. I know this Mario
Right.
design, but this Mario
'Cause you're an
design is
idiot.
not exclusive to this cover.
It was at the time.
What about the manual? There's a Mario like it in the manual.
That's what about the man? It came with the game. That's part of the game. It's an
Right,
extension
but
of the cover.
I'm saying you can't judge it on just the Mario design. You have to judge it on the whole layout, and I think the whole layout could potentially be tweaked. That's what I think.
Okay. No one agrees with you. I just want you to know, no one listening, no one agrees.
I think that there are people out there who are intrigued. They're like, interesting. Like, I'm not saying, like, just change it and bam, you're done. I'm saying you could tweak it. I'm saying there's room to mess with it. And I
know-
think that there are people out there who are like, ooh, maybe I could make a better box art. What if I played around with it? You know?
Right
That's what
now,
I'm
we're
saying.
having fun because it seems like we have all the time in the world, but
Mhm.
in 90 minutes, it's not going to seem like that anymore, and we're going to regret having this conversation. So you need to rein it in.
I will never regret anything.
The listeners will on your behalf, and so
Well,
will
you
I.
just edit it out or something, whatever. That's
I
on
don't
you.
do
That's
that.
not
I
my
don't
fault.
fucking do that.
It's not my
Mario has
fault if you want to show
five.
all of this off.
Mario has 5 fingers, 4 fingers and a
Is that
thumb.
has that always been true?
I don't know. I just never thought about that because often with a cartoon character who has white gloves, you see them have like 4 fingers, right? By which I mean 3 fingers and a thumb, of course. But he's a normal human, 5 digits.
That's pretty cool.
It is interesting that they chose the raccoon suit. I mean, it is kind of the thing of the game if you had to center in on a new thing to highlight. But it is sort of funny that they chose that because it does seem almost like, at least in America, you could look at that and go, what? Why is he a raccoon? Like, I don't know. Why did they do that? It doesn't necessarily like lend itself to Mario naturally. Oh, he's a raccoon now, of course. It is strange.
Yeah, but like what were you gonna do? Like what
I don't know.
changes in this game lend themselves to Mario naturally, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it could be him like it could be the Koopa Kids.
I guess it could be the Koopa Kids, I guess.
It could be him like on an airship or something, like an action scene.
But like that would be more cluttered, and I do think that it's just having.
Well, sure, it'd be a totally different thing.
Right, the new Mario design is very good, just very simple. I think that does benefit it.
Can we please stop talking about this box art? Oh my god. It's time for the walkthrough. I don't know. I was trying something new. So no one really had a suggestion for what we call the section where we discuss the game. Actually, I mean, there were maybe one or two, but I didn't like them.
Yeah, so they didn't count.
It's just the main part of the show.
Yeah,
I mean, what do you call that?
That is the show. Yeah, we're doing the show.
Yeah.
This is what we should be doing on our first episode of season 1.
You mean 2?
No.
Oh.
I mean, we're dropping the ball here, is what I mean.
Super Mario Brothers 3. We came back from Mario 2. Again, Mario 2 is an offshoot, and Mario the Lost Levels, which was only in Japan, was really just an expansion pack, so to in terms of its actual content. It wasn't a new engine, it wasn't new art. It was just a rearranging of elements that already existed. And so this, in a real sense, is the first true Mario Brothers sequel. This is the first time Nintendo really sat down and were able to say, okay, what did we do in that first game? Because we did that. We didn't do that other one. That doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
Shigeru Miyamoto, Takashi Tezuka, and the team were like, what is the next step? How do we evolve that gameplay? Where do we take things from here? You sat down, you played it. What were your first impressions as someone who is famously pretty bad at Mario? Did you find it easier, harder to play? How far did you get? Give us your opening spiel.
So my opening spiel, I almost feel like we should talk about the different elements in the game because
there are many.
So, I mean, my initial impressions, I do read these manuals first, are just there are a lot of new mechanics going on in this game that exist at some point or another, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to have this raccoon suit, which gives you a spinning tail attack, or lets you, like, hold A to glide in a jump, or if you run long enough, you get a power bar, and if you're, like, your power bar will, like, fill up, and if it fills all the way up and you're a raccoon, you can tap A to fly. There's a frog suit that lets you swim faster and do things. There's a tanuki suit that lets you, like, turn into stone or something like this. There's an overworld map, right? Like, this is the first time we have an overworld map. We're going to go from stage to stage. You can pick up Koopa shells and carry them after you've jumped on a Koopa and then throw it. Um, Gosh, there's so many of these. Like,
There's
there's so
Koopa
many.
Kids.
There's Koopa Kids that are the mini bosses rather than just fake Bowsers, right? Your little mini bosses are Koopa Kids.
Mhm. I guess we
Yeah,
should say also just the general premise. You play as Mario and you have to go through 8 worlds and to beat levels and
yeah.
and platform. Just in case
Yeah,
anyone doesn't know.
that's fair. I'm not counting that because that is the same as before. I'm just trying to list off all the new things. But like the
There's
point
also mini games that you can find on the world map. There's enemies that
Mm.
wander the world map.
There are enemies that wander the world. Yes, there are a lot of these things.
There's shortcuts on the world map that you can unlock as you play.
Mm,
There's just to say some more new things.
yeah, yeah. These are all fair. These are all. But the point is, it's a little overwhelming at first looking at it. So, um, yeah, my first impressions of the game were, oh my god, look at all this new crap that I have to deal with and think about and look at. Um, Now, actually playing the game, I will say, uh, I found it very hard to get to interact with a lot of these new things. It took me a long time to be doing almost anything that wasn't just Mario again. Um, because they are kind of locked behind being able to play.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
To
Well,
some
okay.
degree.
Okay. Well, so
We'll
I
get
mean,
to it, but
let me yeah, I mean, let me
these are
present
my
this.
initial impressions.
Sure. In many ways, I do think this game is more accessible than the original. Um, this, well, maybe this didn't. Well, who knows how many of these did or didn't apply to you? But now, while there is no in the original cartridge, there was no save option, which is probably in my opinion, the biggest miss of this game. But
Hmm.
in the age of save states and emulators, and even not even in this, even in the age of the Super Nintendo re-release a couple years later, not as much of an issue.
But
But
we didn't play that.
regard, yes, of course, I know we didn't play that. I'm not
I'm just,
implying that we played
I'm
that.
just saying.
Regardless of that, if you don't turn the system off, you do when you die get a game over, get to restart from the current world that you're on, unlike the original, which made you start all the way from the beginning. And same with Mario 2, right? Or did Mario 2 let you restart? Oh no, you had 3 continues, but once you
Mhm.
ran out of those, you had to start over. This
Yes.
game doesn't matter how many game overs you get. If you're on World 5, you get to stay on World 5 as long as you don't
Mhm.
turn the console off.
Mhm.
um, Other things. Once if you beat a fortress, which is like the mid-level boss sort of thing, you
Mhm.
don't have to do it again. And once you do that, it will often open a shortcut so that you can kind of take a pipe or go through a locked door. And then you don't have to repeat every single level of the stage. Sometimes you might have to go through one to get on a certain path on the map, but often you can cut around them. Another thing with all the power-ups this game throws at you, um, you will sometimes get them in the overworld, and you can keep them between levels. And even if you get a game over, you keep all of the ones that you have. So if there's a level that's really giving you trouble, you got a fire flower somewhere earlier or a tanuki suit or whatever, you can activate it before you go in to give you a little juice. Or even some power-ups that let you just skip levels completely. Like there's the P-Wing where you just fly on top of it, or the Juggum's Cloud, which lets you just pass through it. I also think there's just more, because of the mini games, there's more ways to get one-ups in this game. After every 3 levels, you get at least one up because of these little cards at the end. More if you match them correctly. That's like another little mini game each level ends with. Um, and also another big thing for me, when you get hit, if you have a power up, you don't revert all the way back to small Mario. You get to be big Mario first, which I think is a huge difference in difficulty. Now, all that said, the
Yeah.
platforming there's definitely still some challenging platforming sections. But I think certainly this game goes much further than the original in terms of like helping you out. Did any of that
That's
help you?
probably true. So here's my
Oh boy.
problem. Here's
Yeah.
my problem.
Yeah.
My problem is that everything you said is true, but a lot of these things you have to be able to at least get most of the way through World 1 before you really start getting any of them. Right.
Mhm.
So the way that this kind of plays is that you get World 1 dash, or you get stages, I guess you'd call it 1 dash 1, 1 dash 2, 1 dash 3. If you can play all of them without losing something, you get a level up. And then you get your first overworld thing, right? Which will give you a random power up. But not, as far as I know, any of the ones that let you like fly or skip a level. Then you have a platforming thing.
I'm not sure if
Now,
where those are you're allowed to get those or not. I don't know.
I never hit one there. I don't know.
Okay.
But
Yeah, then maybe not.
then you have a platforming thing. So if you're me, what this means is, that's all you get. Right? You're talking about if you do the dungeon, you don't have to do it again. I did eventually find that out after like an hour of play, because I didn't get to the dungeon. Because I'd get to this platforming thing on 5 lives, and I'd just fall in and die. And it was and it was one of those things that's like it doesn't. You're right that it does help that going from Tanuki Mario to Big Mario, or not Tanuki, Raccoon Mario to Big Mario is
Yeah, either one.
helpful, but only if you are dying to enemies. If you are dying to falling in pits, it doesn't help you, right? The power-ups, it would give you like, oh, it gives you a mushroom, you can start big. Oh, it gives you the raccoon suit, you can start as a raccoon or whatever. Okay, that's all great. What actually often happened was I would get the power up and then I'd be like, that's not going to help me on the platforming, so I'm going to save it. And then I would get to the mini boss and I would just forget that I had him, because it's like, oh, I just literally never used them. And then I'd be like, fuck, I died. Fuck, I had a thing. God damn it, I could have used it. It would have been helpful.
Mhm. Yeah, your brain is broken in many ways.
I mean, why should I remember if they give them to me right before they are useless? If they gave them to me right before I could use them, that'd be different.
But you still get to keep them. Like you always have them.
They
So even if you
they
get a game
do.
over, it's there.
They do, but the problem is that so often I would get to the boss stage with 1 life left because I like the platforming just murdered me. It was very similar to, I don't know if our listeners might remember in Mega Man when I was talking about how, Gutsman's stage, I'm like 45 minutes just doing the platforming and failing. And I was saying, if this were a game where right after Cutman you had to do Gutsman, you couldn't play any of the other stages till you did this, that would be really bad. But the great thing is that that's not true. In this case, it is true.
But less so than Mario 1, where you literally always have to go through the same stage. Like right in the first level, there's a branching path, and there's a stage you don't have to do. I don't remember if it's like 1-4 or something. Like you can just go right around it. And I think I would say it's probably one of the like more difficult stages. You can just skip it. Like you don't need to do it.
Is there a branching path there? I don't remember there being one. Maybe there was.
Yes, I'm looking at it right now on the first map.
Well, maybe I could have skipped the one that was killing me over and over. I don't know.
Well, there's no way you didn't notice. It goes 1, 2, and then 1-4 is like on a side path. You can just walk right past it. And go to
That's
the
one that was
fortress.
killing me. Maybe I just missed it, and you could just go past it.
Please. I need you to look at your footage right now. How could you not? It's the simple map. There's like 2 roads. There's one you can go down and you don't have to go down the other. I'm not describing, it's not fucking a map of fucking Middle Earth. There's 2 lines on it. You go one way and not another.
Well, maybe I could have skipped it then. I don't know. That would have made life a lot easier if I didn't have to do that.
God, help
I'll tell you that.
Please, Christ. Listen, regardless of that, I mean, well, I'm regarding it. I'm not regardlessing it. I'm regarding it. But did you, I mean, look, you've played 2 of these Mario games so far. Did you find that any of your acquired skills from those games carried over to this one? Or did you feel that it was that the controls or mechanics were so different that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I mean, so this Mario game got me thinking because I do think that there is something about Mario, and I think it is
There's
how
something about
I think
Mario.
it might actually be how responsive the controls are that like kind of messes me up, right? Um because I going through this I was like I have so much more trouble platforming in this than I do in other games, I think. And I think part of the reason is because um you know, if if I make a jump, I don't quite know where I'm gonna land ever. If I let go of my controller, Mario runs for a little bit longer than I was holding because he has to slow down. But that distance is different depending on how fast I was going. So it's kind of like if I'm trying to put Mario in a specific spot, I have a lot of difficulty doing it because I can't just like tiny differences in how I'm pressing the button will completely change where Mario goes. And this does lead me to, because I was thinking about this a lot. I was like, well, in Mega Man, if I can get through a platforming section, then I mean the platforming's not that bad, but like if I can get through a section in Mega Man without dying, I can go do it again. Right? Like I don't have to worry about the fact that oh, I have to do the whole thing over again. It doesn't matter. I can just do it again because I did it once. But in Mario, there are times where I'm just like, it's like, yeah, I've done this 10 times before and I've never failed once. Oops, I just ran into the enemy because I thought I was going to stop in front of him and I didn't. I can't consistently get through anything just because I've done it before. And it's definitely, there's something really weird about the controls. And like I said, I think it is just that there's so much, there's the acceleration and the deceleration, and there's a lot of responsiveness on exactly how long you're holding down your buttons for. And I can't tell the difference between putting Mario on one block or putting him 3 blocks over.
Uh-huh. Well, I guess Mario is more a platformer and Mega Man is an action platformer. It
Hmm.
is it is a more of an emphasis on combat. Like it's at least 50% combat, 50% platforming, whereas Mario is, I would say, is more like 80%, 90%, 80% platforming, 20% quote unquote combat. So there is more of an emphasis that, by the way, I just looked back at the footage and you can actually skip levels 3 and 4 in World 1. You can go
You
right from
skip
2 down to the fortress.
what? That's crazy. I
Uh-huh.
did. How can that be possible? Weird.
There you can go down instead of
Damn.
to the right, and there it is, the castle. And you just
Damn.
can completely ignore those 2 levels if you don't want to do them.
Damn. That would have made it a lot easier.
You're stupid.
I probably would have
No
gotten a lot
offense.
farther.
So, well, I guess let's answer that question. How far did you get?
So so I
Uh-huh.
had spent basically forever on this game trying to grind out the first dungeon without getting there. And like at a certain point I did manage to get through it. And when I managed to get through it, I was actually able to finish World 1. Like I think it really did just come down to like can
Well, you at
I
least saw that shortcut once you beat the fortress.
what shortcut? Which one?
That once you beat the fortress in World 1, you can just skip. If you die, you can go past it. You don't have to beat it again.
Oh, yes, yes, I did see that, yes.
But it opens up also like there's a key on the map. You can go. You don't even need to
Hmm.
do level 1 again. You can go right to 5.
Hmm.
Are you
Did I
kidding
not
me?
see that? I don't know.
You need to look. This is making me worried about you in many ways. There's a big keyhole on the map, and when you beat the castle, it disappears, and
Yeah,
then you
but
can
then it's
just go
not
straight
there
down.
anymore. I don't know.
It
That's
is
not
if
the
you
way
get
I
a
was
game
going
over.
before.
You just go down. It's the game is trying to help you.
Hmm.
This is fucking crazy. Can you please look at it? I'm
I
gonna
mean,
go
I'm looking at
crazy.
I'm looking at the map here. I do see the key.
And you see where the
It
levels
felt
3
like
and
I
4,
couldn't
you
like
see what I'm
go
talking
down
about?
there or something. Hmm.
When you beat the fortress, you can. Oh
Hmm.
Lord. Oh my god.
Well,
What's wrong
eventually,
with you?
I managed to
What's
grind my way through
wrong with
World 1.
you? What is wrong with you? Jesus Christ. Were you drunk? Were you just like, were you in an eggnog stupor when you played this game? What the fuck happened?
Well, I don't know. I tried to beat the levels. Anyway, like I
This
said,
is
once I got
crazy.
through World 1, I was able to start trying to I did get to World 2, and the fact that it resets you to the beginning of World 2 meant that I could attempt to grind out for the fortress on World 2. Um,
Uh-huh.
so that is where I got to, was attempting to beat the stupid World 2 fortress.
This is pretty.
Or no, did I beat this first one? No, I beat the first fortress in World 2. It was the second fortress in World 2 I couldn't do. That's what it
Are there
was.
not the airship? There's another fortress.
I think there must be another fortress, because I'm looking at the map right now, and I'm like, I definitely passed that fortress. So there must have been another one.
Got it. So you fought one Koopaling.
Well, I fought there's
Boom
the
Boom is not a Koopaling.
Okay. Well, I fought one Koopaling.
Did you ever like go down a pipe in the overworld map? Did you ever
Yeah,
engage with the map in any
I went down
meaningful
one
way?
I went down one pipe in the overworld map.
Okay.
There was one in World 2. Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Cool. Let's try to shift gears a little bit here. Here's some interesting things about this game. There's kind of I don't know if you noticed this, a stagecraft aesthetic to this game. When it opens up the title screen, there's a curtain comes out, and Miyamoto has said in interviews that the idea of the game was that this whole thing, and maybe all Mario games to some extent, are meant to be perceived as a play, and that Mario and Bowser and all these guys are actors, and you're kind of seeing them put on a show for you. And there's even, I think some of the platforms, if you look at them, look kind of like they're bolted to the wall with shadows behind them, like it's a piece of a set or something.
Mm-hmm.
I guess to some extent, the moving like wooden platforms are on strings, kind of with gears, could also kind of fit into that. But that's an interesting. And they kind of carried that over into some of the Paper Mario games as well. It seems to be something that Nintendo or somebody likes, the idea of it being kind of this meta play, which I think gives this game sort of a unique feel. Like they don't really lean into that in any of the other ones that I can think of. How about those? I'll tell you what I'm really bad at is those mini games. The ones where you have to line up the heads and match them. I almost never did it, and every time I tried to figure out what the pattern was, I forgot or fucked it up and couldn't do it consistently for the life of me.
So I didn't get to see them too often, because of the way that I was playing. But I'll tell you this: the timing is not too hard, except that the timing on the last one is completely different than the first two, at least in all the ones I checked. So what happens is that like the first couple times I got to it, I was learning the timing and I was like, I fucked it up. But then once I figured out the timing, I was like, cool, I hit the one I want. Cool, I hit the one I want, and I'm gonna hit the one oh, fuck you, fuck off. And I was very mad at the game. I felt like I was getting trolled because it is completely different. You're like off by like 3 or something. Like,
yeah, I think one of them is you're supposed to press it like at the one before the one you want, and then one is on the one you want, and then one is after the one you want, or something like that.
Interesting.
They're all three different though.
For me, I think it was. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was the first two I could hit relatively consistently by going for it when the one that I want was like 25% of the way to centered. You know what I mean? Like it had just started getting centered. And you might be right that the timing is different for both, and I was like hitting the window that knocked both of them out. But then the third one, the timing window was like 2 off or something.
Yeah. So those are kind of tricky. What I did find was that at the end of the levels, there's a little card, and when you go through it, you get one of 3 icons. And there was a certain, if I was running at a certain speed and like didn't stop and jumped at the right time,
Mm,
I was able to always, if I was doing that, because sometimes I couldn't because there's an enemy in the way or I just messed it up. I was able to always get a star. Like I think if you're running at full
mm.
speed and you're like just going straight to the end and you jump right
Like
before it,
like regardless of what you did in the level, you mean?
yes, like it's
Okay.
like that, whatever the timer is, whatever you
Hmm.
want to call it, of how those things rotate, it doesn't spawn, so to speak, until like it's on screen, maybe, or maybe just before. So it's like, yes, it's like if you just come out of a pipe, or even if I think even if you're not, even if you're just like part of the level, there is a way to sort of game that and always get that star, as opposed to having to like sit there and go, okay, jump now, which is a little. I sort of stopped. I just got tired of doing that because it was like too annoying. I didn't feel like I was too impatient to do that. But I don't know. It always felt good to get 3 stars and get a
Yeah,
little one
interesting.
ups.
I did not find that that was happening, even though I was just like because at first I was trying to get the timing on them, and I found it very difficult to get the timing on those for a number of reasons. But at a certain point, I gave up and I was just running full speed and jumping into them. But I was not hitting it. And it's probably because I'm less consistent in my timing. Like maybe I wasn't running full speed the whole time, or maybe I'm jumping at different
Yeah.
arcs or something, or who knows. So I wasn't ever getting more than one on those. I did at first try to get the rhythm down, and it was a disaster because it was like, well, first of all, it's really hard to pick up a visual rhythm when there's music playing at a different rhythm in your ears, right? That's just totally different. It was very off. Um, so that was messing me up. And also, I think because I was sort of able to do it in Mario 2 when I tried it. When I realized it was doable and tried it. I think
Yeah.
the fact that all of these are like white on a black background, there's like less color differentiation, they're like smaller. I think it was harder for me visually to distinguish like the exact timing that they were going on, and then even the timing that I was getting messed up by the music. So I think for sure you're definitely supposed to do it the way you were doing it if that worked.
It did often work.
So
That is interesting that that's one thing. Maybe the main thing they took from Mario 2 was like the idea of slot machines is found throughout this game.
mhm.
That and I guess being able to pick up shells is their one little remnant of being able to pick stuff up. And they're like, all right, I guess if you like picking stuff up, we'll give you one thing you can pick up.
Mhm.
And I also should have mentioned, you talk about the black and white color. That also goes to the stage thing. When you once you end the level, it kind of feels like you're walking off stage,
Mhm.
which I think is neat.
Yes, yeah, the background, like, disappears and everything becomes black, and there's, like, a curtain on that, right? Like, up at the top?
I think so. I'm not. I can't remember if there's a literal curtain, but there might
Yeah.
be.
There is one at the start of the game, I might be confusing that, and but
Yeah. Did you? How about the? Did you do the memory matching game? That's kind of the other one that's in the overworld.
Yeah, I did see that once, and I did it tell you how many guesses you got for it?
You always get 2.
Okay, yeah, 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 because I was like, I forget how many guesses I get, so, like, I did 2 things, and then I did one other thing, and I probably should have, and then I failed, and I probably should have done it differently, basically, because I was like, I think maybe I'll get it, because with only 2, you just can't, like, what's the memory? There's no memory to match, right? Like,
Yeah. Well, it does. It carries over. So once
mm.
if you get one pair, the next time you find the game, that will still be revealed.
I see. Okay, yeah, because I was thinking I'd probably get a third so I could remember. Because the first time I got like a one up in something, and I was like, okay, okay, I'll pick 2 other random ones, and then I'll do the one up and something else. But I should have probably done the one up and another random one, and maybe I would have gotten it. But I think it doesn't matter. I only saw
Perhaps,
it
but
once.
Yeah, I do, but I think those mini games are really neat. They're like something that breaks up the action. I mean, the map, the overworld in general is a big deal. This is the first time that you have that, and it does really add some semblance of cohesion to this world, that it's not just level random, no transitions. It's like you're in a place, and even I think this is the first Mario game where really, I guess you kind of had this in Mario 2, even Mario 1 a little bit, like some of the worlds were sort of themed together loosely. But I feel like this is the first time you really have, this is the desert world, this is the snow world, or even there's one in this game that's like the giant world where everything is big. And I think this is the first time they really do stuff like that. And I just really enjoy I just think being able to move around a map adds a lot to the fun of the game. Makes it feel more like, oh, I'm in a place doing stuff and not just random junk is happening to me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was a lot more like I guess I didn't realize I could be engaging with the map as early as I should have been in World 1. That definitely would have added because for a lot of the game, it did kind of feel like the game is teasing me with all of these things that I could be doing, and I just can't because I'm stuck grinding out this stupid thing I can't do before I can get to any of it. But like when I did go through a pipe, when I went over and it scrolled the screen, when I tried to beat the Koopaling on the airship and I died once and the airship spawned on a different tile and I had to go back to get it, like that was all cool. I liked all of that. So like when I was engaging in the overworld, or like I think the matching game like spawned or something behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I had to like backtrack to go find it rather than just, okay, I got to this one, now I get to do it. Then I got to that one, now I get to do it. There's not that much to the overworld. It's just linear levels like it always was.
Yeah, dying on the airship is really cool and then you have to go chase after it again. It
Mhm.
can also be really annoying sometimes because sometimes you're forced to
Mm,
replay a level you didn't otherwise have to get to where now the ship is.
I see.
Um, right.
Or if there's like Hammer Brothers or something, yeah.
Yes, yeah, that can be pretty annoying, but it certainly gives it a different feel, especially, again, remember, maybe, I guess you don't really have to remember, you can just feel the way you feel. But for at the time, you're thinking of Mario, everyone playing this game is like, oh, you beat the level, you lose, then you just try again. Now it's like, no, no, no. This is a ship, like it's moving. This is a
Mhm.
thing that's like this world is active. And that goes for inside the levels too. No longer is it like once the enemy's off screen, it disappears forever. There is sometimes that happens, but there is definitely more room for a shell to bounce around or for you to move back and forth and enemies to actually still exist when you're not looking at them
Mhm.
directly. Um, the
I
big,
wonder. Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Or
No,
I
no,
was
no,
gonna
no.
say, I wonder because like right now, I never really tell you how I'm doing. I wonder if for Mario in particular, because other games maybe not so much, but maybe for Mario in particular, it might not be a bad idea for me to be like, I'm fucking stuck grinding out this level, so that you can be like, you don't have to do that, you know?
Well, you've trained me to not help
Yeah.
you.
No, you're right.
Every
You're right.
every time I've ever tried to offer you help, you
And
bristle and
generally
ignore
speaking,
it.
I don't want that. There's just something about Mario in particular messes with my head, I think.
This is truly crazy to me. Like I don't. This is insane that you didn't figure out there you can go a different way.
It's funny because I was thinking to myself, like, wouldn't it be cool if there were branching pathways? And I just didn't. Like, I was thinking that would be cool. I just didn't think I got to them yet.
You were just you're like, I see number 3 come after 2, must
That's
go
how Mario
3.
plays, right? That's in Mario, you go do the next one.
Absolutely just, I mean, just wild. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I'm just flabbergasted.
Yeah, it is.
It's not even.
It is too
Yeah.
bad. Like one of the
Yeah, it is. This
because like
episode sucks.
I
This is the
probably
start of
yeah,
our
I mean,
season. We're
yeah.
fucked.
Well, maybe you shouldn't give me Mario's at the start anymore because I'm not good at them.
What are you gonna say?
Well, I mean, the thing is, it is still every level that I play is still like pulling teeth to get through, right? Like it is, I am still grinding out every single screen of progress in these levels, and I'm not consistently getting through stuff I have before. Like, when I did get to World 2, I do still just have issues where it's like, yeah, I mean, listen, just because what I'm currently working on is the second dungeon doesn't mean that I won't hit continue and then lose all 4 lives on the first enemy in World 2-1. Like that will happen sometimes, right? So like that is a like kind of a thing still. It would have been good to get to level 2 faster because then I could have spent more of my emotional like pulling teeth energy on later levels. But that was still there. Like the whole time there is still this component of me being like, "Oh my god, I've gotta grind all this shit out," and I know that when I'm done, I'm just gonna have to go back to the beginning. It's not like Mega Man where it's like, "It doesn't matter if I lose all my progress, I'll just come right back." No, I won't. I won't just come right back. I'm gonna have to, like, kill myself to come back. So there is that issue for sure.
Yes, yeah, that's the point. Is you would more of your energy would be devoted to experiencing new things.
I would've Yeah, I mean, that would've been good, but,
By the way, you're also, I think, maybe the first person who's ever referred to playing a Mario game as grinding it out.
I mean, that's what I mean, listen, man.
I just want you to know it's a unique experience, or at least a unique way of describing it.
I mean, this is
Uh,
this is another thing that I was thinking of while playing this too, right? Is because we'd sort of talked about this the first time, and you brought this up, and I think I was like, oh yeah, I guess that's kind of true, and I hadn't really done it. But the idea of like exploration in levels in Mario, ooh, like what's in that block, what's down that pipe, and I was thinking about this time, and I was thinking, I feel like Mario is right in the middle of these things where it it's like too many things at once. It's pulling me in too many directions, right? Um Something that's just like a pure like action platformer or whatever, I can just say, "Listen, I'm not here to stick around. I'm going off to the next level." So it doesn't matter that every single thing that happens could possibly kill me because like that's the point. But it's not a game where like with a game that I would be encouraged to really like explore or look around or try to find alternate options, something like Zelda, I need to have a safe zone. I need to have a zone where I'm like, "Oh, here I can't go over there cuz I'll die, but I can wander around these areas okay, and maybe I'll find something over this a ways." Whereas in Mario, I'm just like, man, even in World 1-1, sometimes I just run off a cliff and die. It's very hard to feel incentivized to explore because it's like, what am I going to get out of exploring? Another life? I'll lose two looking for it. So like it's this weird place for me, I think.
it's very tragic to hear you say that because one of the things that makes this game so special and replayable and beloved over the years is the amount of secrets that are jammed into it. Far more than Mario 1. One of the big things is with the raccoon suit, you can fly now,
Hmm.
and there's plenty of levels where you can get up in the air and discover clouds and things like that. There's lots more bricks that you can secretly break and find a little power up. There's P blocks, which will turn bricks into coins and vice versa, so that you can maybe jump to a new place, find a new pipe that you can go down, get some little power up or something, and everything that we've said with the maps. There's also, there's warp whistles, which you can discover, which will let you warp to new worlds. That's sort of their version of the warp pipes in this one. Um, all kinds of stuff like that. There's stuff. There's like rocks on the map that you can get an item sometimes to break through and make a shortcut that way as well. But yeah, it sounds like it's just not. You just don't have the capacity to
Yeah,
engage with that.
like it's hard. Like it's not like I didn't engage with some of that and
Did
attempt
you
to do some of
fly?
that. I did fly one time. Uh well, a bunch of times, but only in one location could I fly. Um
Was
yeah,
it the first level?
it's the first level. Yes, I found the
Okay,
clouds on the first level that you can fly to.
that was
Um
pretty fun, right?
yeah, that was pretty fun. And I was trying to do that regularly. Um Yeah, the main issue with the flying is that you have to run for a period of time, and the amount of time you have to run for is usually enough that if I run that long without stopping, I will die. Like, I will run off a cliff, or I'll run into a Goomba, and I'll be like, "Oops, I guess I should have slowed down." Like, that was another thing that I was doing, because last time, I didn't know how to run at all, and this time I was trying to run everywhere, and what I found was that, like, I was still trying to run everywhere because I was like, obviously, I need to learn how to run in a Mario game. But I was finding that if I went back and replayed a level and just never touched the run button, I did significantly better. Like, significantly better. It wasn't close.
I mean, look, you're an idiot, but if that's what works for you, then do what works for you, I guess.
Yeah, I
Who
mean,
am
like,
I to judge?
I
Well,
can press the run button in order to, like, catch up to a mushroom that's flying away from me or something. But, you know,
uh-huh.
I still
One
did
of
it.
the real thing, and beyond the, the secrets are kind of part of this, but to me, the other real evolution of the franchise in this game is just how much variety there is. And even just, I mean, on every level, this game dwarfs the original. And the fact that it's on the same hardware, this is 4 years later, or 3 years later, something like that. Maybe 4 years, 3 years development time. I don't know. Um, and like how much content is in this game, right? In Mario 1, it was 8 worlds with 4 levels each. Here you have 8 worlds, but they each have 8 levels. Some of them have more than 8 levels. Some of them have, and then they also have mini games, and they also have random enemies. In the first game, it was every dungeon ended with a Bowser fight. Here you have 7 Koopa kids plus the Boom Booms, and each of those Koopa kids is slightly different. So all those boss fights are actually different. And the levels themselves are so much different. In Mario 1, sure, other than like underwater, the backgrounds changed. It was still like, oh, they added a spring, or some of the dungeons that had like sort of the maze thing going on. They were doing what they could with the limitations of how well they knew the hardware at the time. But compared to this, I feel like there's so many levels that are like, oh, there's some kind of fun gimmick that is only in this level that you don't see anywhere else. There's this kind of enemy that's only in this level, and then there's like a dozen more after that are totally different. Did you get to see the angry sun? Did you at least experience the sun? You must
Uh,
have, right?
I don't think I did.
Oh, well, if you definitely would know if you did. But he's in World 2. I thought he's pretty early on.
I don't
It's
remember
like it's
him.
as you're running, there's a sun in the sky. It's angry, and sometimes he comes down and tries to get you, and you have to
Hmm.
jump over him.
I don't think I saw that.
I don't know how. If you got to the second fortress in World 2, I feel like you
Maybe,
must have seen this. You just don't
maybe,
remember.
yeah, maybe I just don't remember it.
Maybe you just didn't realize it's a sun. You thought it was like you thought there was a spot in your vision or something.
Yeah, maybe I didn't realize. Maybe I thought something else was happening. I don't know.
Well, that's one of the most, again, iconic celebrated characters in Mario 3. Most people really remember the terror that the angry sun induced
Hmm.
in them, and how fun that was at the
Hmm.
time.
Maybe you need a separate podcast that's just me playing Mario, and the goal of it is to beat every Mario game in order. Maybe ignore like lost levels or whatever, and that's just it. We just work through, and maybe it takes like 2 months to beat any individual one.
But is this for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's just been too long a time, and maybe the last few weeks we've been playing shorter, simpler games, and I don't know, my soul hasn't been as dead listening to you talk for some or something. But I feel like there's something different about this conversation, that it feels more like you feel more defeated or something, even compared to Mario 1 and 2. But maybe I'm just misremembering.
Well, okay, so my until I managed to get through that dungeon, my overall impression of this game was effectively it doesn't feel it feels like there are a bunch of differences from Mario 1, but I don't get to engage with any of them. So it mostly just feels like I'm playing Mario 1 again, but I'm playing much simpler less interesting levels, because that is one thing that I really liked about Mario 1 is that, you know, even if I'm an idiot and don't know to go down the pipes, or I don't like know where to get like how to check for the fire flowers, the levels are interesting to jump through and jump on the enemies and just kind of like play without using any of those extra things. And that's because I think the game is designed for people who don't know how to play Mario, because of course they don't. Nobody's ever played it before. This game to me feels very designed for people who know how to play Mario. Like if you are getting caught up on the jumping and the enemies, then there's not that much here until you get to all the new stuff. Like all the new stuff is crazy and great, but like you need it to beat what the original was doing, and I just felt very like I'm just not allowed to see this game. Now, once I did get past that dungeon and I got into World 2 and I did start being able to be like, okay, I can there's a little bit more going on with the world map and I get to restart here and oh cool, I'm in like a totally different location. And I can sort of see now that I can actually skip the dungeons once I beat them. That's pretty cool. It felt better, but like I said, it was so much playing to get there that I only kind of did that at the very end. Um, so I don't know, I didn't really get to experience that as much as I wanted to. And of course, now you're telling me, oh, the part that had you shut down, you just didn't have to do it all. I could have easily cut like an hour and a half of playtime off. Um, and
Uh-huh.
and just had that all be more interesting new stuff. I don't know. It does feel a little defeating.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it should. It probably should. But isn't this not true of you didn't get past like World 2 of Mario 1 or 2
Mhm.
either, did you? So why
No.
is it different?
No, so like I said, what's different about it is that, like I said, Mario 1, I think the just the layout of the level and the way the enemies come at you and like all the different steps and jumps, like it's more interesting to do it without any bells and whistles. With this game, if you're playing it without any bells and whistles, there's like the game is all the new stuff. Like that's it. There's nothing there. If you're not engaging with the new stuff. Which is fine because that's what you're supposed to be doing. That's what the entire game is, right? It's just that I wasn't. And in Mario 2, at the very least, all of the enemies were different, right? Everything I saw was like, ooh, that's a Birdo. Ooh, there's a Shy Guy. Ooh, and here I'm like, there's some more Koopas. There's some more Goombas. I saw those already. I like them. Don't get me wrong.
I
But
think what's really disappointing to me is in Mario 1, sure, would it be nice if you saw later levels?
mhm,
Sure. But overall, I feel like you can kind of get a sense for what that game is from the first couple of worlds. It gets
mhm,
more complicated, but largely it's variations on a theme all the way throughout. And Mario 3 really, like I said, has so much variety in it that
mhm,
more so than that game, I feel like by virtue of you seeing so little of it, you really haven't seen this game.
mhm.
And I'm like, I want you to see the how cool the game is.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad because like I did eventually bust through the wall that was holding me back, but only like at the very end, you know.
I mean, maybe it's hard for me to remember because for you, you're intimately familiar with World 1.
Mhm,
Whereas I'm like, I don't know, is that the same? It doesn't like to me that's not the bulk of the game. But there are a lot of new enemies in this game. I mean, thwomps are a big one.
Thwomps show up in World 2.
Okay, so you saw
So
them.
I did see Thwomps. I did get to Thwomps and Booze. Yeah, I liked
And
that when
Boo's,
I was
those are big
yeah.
staples of Mario.
Yeah, like I said, once I actually broke through to World 2, I was kind of like, "Oh, shoot, it's too bad I didn't start at this point. If I had gotten to World 2 on my first try and had all week to explore, that probably would have been great."
Yeah, you saw Rocky Wrench,
Did I?
the little guy on the airship who pops up and throws wrenches at you. Did
Hmm.
he not
Yeah.
show up in the first one? Maybe he's not in the first
Uh,
one.
I don't know. Maybe he was. I don't
They
remember
might.
him.
What about Dry Bones? Did you see Dry
I
Bones?
did see some dry bones.
I love Dry Bones. You jump on them, they come back to life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't think I ever hung around long enough for them to do that, but I knew they would if I didn't leave.
The boss battles, I mean, did you find them more engaging than the Bowser fight, which is pretty repetitive? I mean, these are also sort of repetitive, but I do think they make more sense in that it's like, well, what is the skill set
Mm-hmm.
you're building up? It's
Right.
jumping on an enemy's head, and here that actually uses that for them.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
no, I mean, I
yeah.
did, like I said, it took me the first couple times I got there was just like I had one shot and then I was dead, right? But so I got there and it was like, okay, obviously the first thing I did was jump on his head and that worked, and then he went back in his shell and I died. Because I didn't move away fast enough. And I was like, okay, well, next attempt I have to move away. Too bad I have to play through the whole game to make another attempt. And then I was able to do that and a couple times, and then he started jumping around like crazy, and I was like, "Oh shit!" and immediately died. And I was like, "Okay, well, next time I have to do something about that." But unfortunately, that's like another hour of play. Then after that, I was able to beat him, and it wasn't too bad. And I think I beat the Koopaling on the airship the first try.
Wow. I find that the best method for Boom Boom is just to just don't let up. Just try to stay there and jump on his head 3 times as quickly as you can. Because once he starts moving around, that's when it's like, oh, I don't know where he's going and I get tripped up. But if I just get in there and I'm just like, jump, 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 bam, get out of there. I'm usually safer. The Koopalings themselves can be a lot tougher depending on which they all have some sort of different annoying projectile that they throw around at you. And jump around the screen. I mean, you gotta love these Koopalings. That is another one of the biggest contributions to Mario lore from this game. As Bowser refers to them in the manual as his 7 children, although they kind of step back from that later on, and I think they don't really refer to them as his children, but more so as, I don't know, his little friends or something. It's sort of unclear. They are all, of course, named after famous musicians. Don't know if you noticed that.
Hmm. I
Did you
didn't
notice
really
that?
like I sort of looked at it and I was probably there's so many things in the manual. I think I was probably planning to look back at them as I got there. Well, I do see that though, now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah, including some like of the day. Like it was who is it? Sex Pistols or somebody. There's one of those kinds of bands in there.
Mhm.
And so there's another. Clearly, the translators were having fun because also Boo in the manual is referred to as Boo Diddley, which is like, they didn't keep that. Um, but they did keep all those Koopa names. Those are their names forever in
Mhm.
America, at least. I don't know what their Japanese names are, but I love them. Ludwig is my personal favorite. Big fan. Big fan of the Koopa kids. Wendy O is the lone girl of the group. She has
Mhm.
a bow and a necklace
Mhm.
and big bracelets around her wrists. How about the whole conceit of, the story of this game is not that Bowser kidnapped the princess, but that he sent the Koopa kids to transform the world's kings into different monsters. And you have to get back the magic wand to save them. I'm sort of
Is
confused by
that
this because why are there 8 kings? Or actually, there's 7. The last world is Bowser, but there's 7 different kings. But in all of them, they refer to the princess as if she's the only princess. I don't really
Yeah,
understand the
she's
geography
the
of this land.
princess.
But who are all these kings?
Well, you don't I mean, you don't need to have one princess for every king. That's crazy. This is the princess.
Are any of them her father? Where's she
Oh,
from?
probably not. She's from the Mushroom Kingdom.
This is the This whole thing is
Right.
the Mushroom Kingdom.
Right. Well, these are smaller kingdoms within it. These are
Oh yeah,
sub-kingdoms.
yes, the manual refers to them as countries.
Yeah. So she's
Each
the prince.
country.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And this is Mushroom World. So she's the princess of the world, and these are just the kings of the individual countries.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, the final world is then Bowser just does kidnap the princess and you have to go get her.
Sure.
Um this also is the first time the princess writes you a letter.
Yes, I
Which
did
is
see that letter.
yeah, and she gave you a gift too. Did she
I
give you a
fucked up that
P-wing?
gift. Yeah, she did, but I
Oh
fucked it up.
god.
It was fine.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I was like, it lets you skip over a level, but what's the difference? You'll just die on the next one and have to do it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, most of the items I was just like, oh, I forget what this fucking does. I should check the manual. I probably need it. I'll probably, like, whatever. I'll just burn through it anyway. So I'll just use it on this level and see if it's helpful.
How about
See what it does.
how about throwing shells? Did you do that ever?
A little bit. I feel like there were probably a lot of ways to carry shells from one screen to another and do cool stuff, but that was all like way more than I could handle. So there was mostly just one place where you could avoid a hammer brother or a boomerang brother, whatever they are here, by throwing a shell at him. That became just part of my standard way of getting through.
Usually, where they're cool to use is they'll have a bunch of bricks, and you can
Mhm.
unleash the shell and watch it ping around and break stuff for you.
Yeah, there's one of those that's like clearly a tutorial for the fact that you can do that. But you don't have to throw it there. You can just like jump on the
Mm,
guy and it'll go
mm,
through and do all that. It's like
mm.
set up obviously that you're supposed to do it. But it just gives you a couple coins. It's not, at least I think it just gives you a couple coins.
Yeah, I don't know. There could be secrets hidden in there. How about sliding down slopes? Did you ever do
Yeah.
that?
I mean I liked doing that. It took me a couple of like tries to go back to the manual and be like, "Oh yeah, shit, I could slide down this slope." And then I was like, "Oh yeah, I like sliding down these slopes and knocking out the enemies on them. That was fun."
I felt like I would do that sometimes and it's fun, but sometimes I don't know, like I wouldn't hold the button down quite long enough or something, and I was safer just jumping over them or on them, even though it's
Mm,
more fun to slide into them. I was like, I'd rather avoid the risk and just do it the old fashioned way.
mhm,
But I do like it.
mhm.
There's also
So now
oh,
you
yes,
understand my mentality though. I don't want to try the new mechanic
yeah.
because I might die. That's me with every mechanic. Like,
That's just every
yeah.
mechanic.
Yeah, I don't want to go hit that question mark block because there's an enemy near it.
Yeah. What about music blocks? That's another new thing in this game. What do you think about those little bouncy music note
God, I
blocks?
fucking hate those. I cannot control my jump off them at all. I think the first like 3 times I went on one, I just immediately sprang off a cliff and I was like, I'm not going on them unless my unless there's literally no other way to progress. I hate them.
Yeah. Yeah, they are pretty annoying. I don't know why they're music notes either. I'm not really
Mhm.
sure what the significance of that is.
Yeah. I mean, you should be proud of me that I at least did realize that like some of them I could like hit to get power ups. Like like it wasn't just to jump on. You could jump under them and get stuff.
Yeah, okay.
I
Okay, I
feel like
guess I
I
should be
feel like
proud of you.
yeah, I feel like the bar is low enough that if I'm playing this game sort of the way I should have been playing last game, you should be like, "See, you learned something. You should have been playing this game totally differently." But
Mhm. Yeah, I guess I got to take what I can get. Sad. Sad but true. I find I mean in general to me this game I think of as far more inviting than the original Mario. In terms of just when I open it up and sit down and play Mario NES, Mario 1, Mario Brothers feels like I get this feeling that it's challenging me. That it's like this game is about the tough platforms. It's a little bit bare bones. Like see what you can do. You get hit. You're small. You only have 3 lives. You got to start all the way at the beginning unless you find a warp pipe. like, here we go. You're in it. You're in for a challenge here. And Mario 3 to me feels more like, oh, everything's kind of like more colorful. There's like funny stuff happening. I've got a raccoon suit. This is silly. I'm flying around in the air. I'm getting weird. I'm going around a map and seeing weird things happen. I have more of like a fun, carefree vibe, which is not just, there are still levels that are pretty hard. Even early on, anything that has moving platforms, I think can be pretty challenging. But towards the end, I will admit, I used some P-wings to fly over some of the final levels because I was like, I don't feel like doing this shit right now. And I didn't. But also, I mean, it helps a lot that in the process of dying a lot, I wouldn't tend to use my power-ups unless I really felt like I needed them. And so once I needed them, I felt like, oh, I've got a good bank of power-ups. And I'm like, this is the level where, okay, if I have that fire flower, that's how I can really get through this one. Again, I understand that you just weren't able to do any of this, but even just like World 1-1 though, to me, compared to the original, it has this friendly vibe to it. I don't know if you felt any of that.
Yeah, I don't know because it like maybe I can maybe from like a purely aesthetic point of view, but I felt
That's
like
part
World
of it.
1-1 on the first one felt more a little bit more open, a little bit more like here's a Goomba, here's
Well,
a
it's
pipe,
simpler.
here's a jump. Yeah, exactly. It's more friendly and inviting because there's less going on. And you're like, okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, I can do that. Um, and here, like almost immediately, it's like, oh shoot, there's a thing shooting junk at me, and then there's like multiple levels of platforms with this like red shell Koopa here, and oh shoot, there's like three Goombas and one of them's got wings on them, and oh wait, I'm supposed to like line up this shot with this shell so that I can get enough power-ups in time to take off this ramp to go. It to me it's less friendly and inviting because it's just so much crap coming at me all at once relative to the first one where it is still colorful and it is still bright, but it's so open. I have a little bit more room to mess around because of that fact. Like I said before, like one of the things that discourages me from exploring in Mario is this sense that if I take it's like the first time I see an enemy, it might take me 20 deaths to get past that enemy, right? So if I'm like, I know how to get past that enemy relatively consistently, but not perfectly, why would I go another direction? I'll die 20 times before I figure that out. I already know how to go that way. And so keeping it more open and putting fewer of those things in front of me makes me feel more at home in 1-1 of the original.
This is the difference here is I'm looking at Mario 3 and I'm like, holy shit, this is a big playground. There's so much stuff I can explore. There's a slide, there's swings, there's a tire swing. Oh, there's one of those ring around the rosy thingies that whatever you call those that spins around in a circle. This is so much fun stuff to try. And you're like, that's a little too much. I just go over here where there's just like one little horsey I can sit on. That's about my speed.
Well, think of it like this. In that playground you're talking about, the floor is lava, right? So as long as you can jump from one of these to another, it's a lot of fun. But me with my horsey, the floor is not lava. I can play on my horsey all day long. I won't fall off into the lava.
To me, I think the floor is still wood chips, personally.
Don't think it is.
Yeah, right. We have different perceptions. I think you just have very fragile bones. And you fall in the wood chips and you're like Mr. Glass.
Right. No, that's me. I'm Mr. Glass. I'm not gonna lie, I do want to put in another attempt on Mario now that I like know I can skip the part that I hate.
Well, clearly we have to do a gameplay a co-op video of this together. I mean, that is this game has a co-op mode, which is different from the original game. Because in the first one, you just took turns and you were totally separate. In this game, you take turns and you're clearing the same map. So one player could clear a level and the next player does the next level and they don't overlap.
See, that
Or they do.
I don't think that like having done a little bit of that with you in Mario, I think that does not work if you have wildly disparate skill levels. Because what ends up happening there is that one player plays like clears like 10 maps, and then the other player loses all their lives on the first jump in the next one, and then the second player comes back and clears 5 more maps, and then the first player goes to something they've never done before and loses all their lives on the first jump. Like basically second player isn't playing if they aren't good when you alternate like that.
Yeah, well, get
So
good, scrub.
I don't actually know that would be particular. Like what would that gameplay footage be? I would just be sitting there watching you play. I don't care about that. I don't care about watching. This show is about me learning about video games. You already know about video games. I don't need to watch you.
You know what
fucking
we
play
would
video
gain
games.
is the viewers not needing to watch an hour of you falling in the same pit.
Well, then what the fuck are they watching? Go make your own video then. You don't need me. What's the point?
We'd at least get you somewhere new and interesting. You'd have me as a backup for you. Or I could also demonstrate, like, here's how you should try to do it. Or, hey, try going
but
down
then it would
on
be
the map.
All right, fine. Well, but like the point is that I don't think 2-player is the correct avenue for that.
I think it's an avenue. I think
don't
we could
think it is
try
because you would do it and then it would be done and then it'd be like, cool, that's how you should do it. Nice. Do I get
could
to do
move
it?
on
No.
to a different level, and you could continue with the level you're working on.
But
That's
if
possible.
you showed me how to do it by doing
Okay,
it, then
fine.
it's done. That's why
then
it's
we
not a
won't
good
fucking
avenue.
do it that way, okay? Jesus.
I just feel like you weren't listening to me.
I'm just telling you about a feature of the game that I think is cool.
Yeah, and
you don't like it.
I'm telling
Fine.
you, I think it probably could be cool if we had similar skill levels, but I just don't think it works. There's also something about like stealing cards from your opponent. There was a lot of junk on that 2-player that I didn't really read that much into because I was like, I don't think we're gonna do this.
I've never engaged with that aspect of the card stealing. I do think you can, unless maybe this is in Mario World, I think you can like give the other player like if they get a game over, you can like transfer some of your extra lives to them if you want. Which is kind of nice, I think. Let's see. There's also the other 2-player thing is the original Mario Brothers arcade game, which you can do as a bonus in this game. Remember we played it with the crabs?
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
block.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
where is that? I don't
the main
remember.
menu. It's like from the main menu.
I only remembered 1-player and 2-player. I don't know.
Well, I bet if you click 2-player, it's an option.
Because you need 2 players for it? There's no
1-player
option?
Yeah, it's a 2-player.
Oh, okay.
game.
I thought you had options for both or something.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I think it's only 2 players.
Okay, that makes sense then.
There's also, what other items can you get? Did you ever, I assume the answer is no. You never saw the frog suit?
Nope, never saw the frog suit.
I
was sad. I really wanted to see that. That was like one of the things I was most excited about. I wanted to see the frog suit.
Something that is sort of strange in this game, the frog suit, and there's also Karibo's shoe, which Karibo is just the Japanese word for a Goomba, I believe. But for some reason, they kept that name in English, which I kind of like.
It's also like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. It might be some other thing.
Perhaps. But I don't care about Yu-Gi-Oh! Don't bring it up again.
I'm just saying that's not the only place it exists. So
I don't care. I don't want to hear that. As far as I know, it doesn't exist.
Well, it doesn't just mean Goomba necessarily. Aren't you
Don't
interested
bring
in
up
what it
Yu-Gi-Oh.
actually means?
I don't want to hear about Yu-Gi-Oh.
I don't know anything else about Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm using that as an example of another place it could be. Yeah, I'm not even talking about it. I'm talking about this word potentially meaning something else. You're in a bad mood today now. You need to get over it.
No, you're overreacting just because I don't like Yu-Gi-Oh.
I don't give a shit about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Anyway, yes, I don't know the origin of the word, but yes, Goombas are called Karibos in Japan. I don't care about the origin of the word. My point was, I like Karibo's shoe and I like the frog suit, but they're very rare in the game. There's only I think there's only one level with the shoe in this game. And I think when I
Mm.
did it, I fucked it up and I didn't even get to use it.
I don't
But
even remember seeing Karibo's shoe in the manual. Is that like a secret item?
yeah, I don't know. I don't think they mention it. Again, there's one
Mm.
level that uses it. But it's
Okay.
like there's a Goomba in a shoe and you have to kill the Goomba and then you get to be in the shoe. And it
Mm.
lets you jump on spikes and stuff that you couldn't before.
I have an image of this in my head. I must have seen it in something, like a
It
Mario in
gets
a
used
shoe
in
or a Goomba in a
later
shoe.
Mario
Yeah.
games too. Yeah. The frog suit I think is fun. It's good underwater. I've seen some people say they just don't like it, but I think it does help you move better underwater. Tanuki suit is sort of I don't really understand. It's the exact same thing as the raccoon, except you can also turn into a statue, which is a feature I never used, and I'm not really sure how useful it is.
I
But
remember thinking I could potentially use that, but I never saw it. Now it says you can you said you can also do it. Can you actually do everything you can do in the raccoon suit and also that, or is it
I'm
like do
pretty
you lose
sure.
like the
I
tail attack or something?
No, I think it's exactly the same. And then you can also press down and be a statue.
Weird.
Yeah, it is really weird that they're two different things, and one is just way more common than the other. But I guess that's sort of like a Kirby move. You can kill enemies with this that way. So I guess
Oh,
that's one thing you can do.
I was thinking you might use it to like dodge a projectile, right? Like they're throwing a boomerang at you. I turn into stone and then I unturn into stone to go jump on
Yeah,
them or something.
yeah, you could do
But
that.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Some other stuff you can find. There's a music box which will let you pass through overworld enemies.
Hmm.
I never found this. I didn't even know about this. There's an anchor that can stop airships from moving. I never
Hmm.
saw that. And then there's the warp whistle. They call it the magic whistle here, which I also never found. You can look up, like Princess Peach gives you some hints about where they are, but I just never did it. But you know, you can skip levels, which is cool. Cool if you know where those are. Cool secrets to find. All right. So where are we at here? Yeah, I'll say one other thing. The only other thing that I feel like is not as strong in this game is the music. It's good. There's
Hmm.
plenty. It's very good and it's fun. It doesn't get repetitive or boring. I like it, but I think compared to Mario and then the next game, Mario World, and even Mario 2, honestly, I just think the tunes aren't quite as memorable. There aren't as many great tracks in this game as the other ones.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard for me to keep track of which tracks are from which Mario games because I'm just like, yeah, that's a Mario track that I remember. And then I'll be like, which Mario track did I remember was in this game? So it's hard for me to directly compare to like two without going back and forth. I have more a sense of like what kind of did it sound like, in terms of I don't know what you'd call it, the instrumentation or whatever. Um yeah, I mean, to me, it is much more comparable to Mario 2 in the sense that, yeah, it was fine. I didn't mind it. I thought it was fun. Yes, it's very hard to live up to the original Mario though in that aspect.
Yeah, I think Mario World does it, in my opinion, and
Hmm.
many later Mario games. I mean, Mario 64 certainly. There's a lot of great music in those later ones, but yeah, this ones are they're fine. I just remember from Mario 2. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
So that one's two. Maybe I should just go listen to the Mario tracks and like try to drill which game each one came from into my head. Maybe that'll be my studying for next
Well,
semester's end.
since they mainly only have like 4 tracks each, it's not that hard.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that hard, but
The airship theme is pretty good. Dun 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 dun. Like it does feel appropriately intimidating.
mhm.
Those airship levels are pretty tough, especially later ones. Uh, the moving levels and stuff flying out of everywhere.
Yeah, I can
Um,
imagine. It wasn't that bad on the first one, but I can imagine there being a lot of chaos. I think part of the thing that makes it not so bad on the first one is that everything is very Like, there aren't Goombas and Hammer Brothers and Koopas running around at you, and there's not really so much platforming. It is a lot more reminiscent of Mega Man, right? Like, these things shoot in these patterns, so just go into the hole in the pattern and you'll be okay. Um, and I feel like that
Mm.
could very quickly devolve into chaos where you actually have to react to things happening on screen. Um, and I would not be able to handle that in later
Like
levels.
I said, there's some of the levels in the last world, which is the dark world. And literally it is dark. You walk around the map and you can't see as much. And there are tanks in the way, which are more like airships in that once you beat, like, they're not labeled as traditional levels. You beat them and then they're gone, even if you get a game over.
Mhm.
But when you play them, it's like lines of tanks shooting bullets at you, and it's in some of them are just insane. And
Yeah,
I had to fly over them.
it's a bullet hell, but for Mario.
Basically, yes. Yeah, I feel like you can kind of see. I think some of those levels are where the sort of Kaizo Mario stuff. Oh, I guess
Mm.
mainly that was Lost levels actually before this, where that was really inspired. But you can see a little bit of it here too, perhaps. Okay. Now I don't know. I think we've come to the section of the show where we check the leaderboards. Do you like that?
I don't. I don't know.
That's like we give our ratings.
I I,
Well,
I feel like
somebody said high
IGN rating is
scores.
already a name for this section.
Yeah.
But
All right. It's time for our
it
IGN
could
ratings.
be.
Why
I mean, I don't know. Could be leaderboards, whatever you want.
we got high score recommended, but I'm like, but sometimes the scores aren't high. So how can you call it
Right.
that?
Right. Yeah. Leaderboards. Whatever. Yeah.
Our IGN ratings, not everything needs to have a cute name, right? We got to draw the line somewhere. We're going to start with you, of course, as you
Yeah. We always
love,
start with me.
to hear your final thoughts on Super Mario Brothers 3. Now, I don't know what direction this is going to go because you've been bad at all of these games. You've been frustrated
Hmm.
by all of them. You've had many complaints, and yet you we just awarded Super Mario Brothers with the game of the half of the year last season.
Hmm.
Huge fan of the original game, and you liked Mario 2 as well, if I recall.
Hmm.
So I don't, but for some reason, I feel like you're leaning more negative here, and it's hard for me to understand the how your brain works in regard to these games because the way you play them is very different from me.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game that's very hard for me to assess because I feel like the majority of my time and experience playing this game is not really. I always wonder. I figure one of these days, and maybe we won't because maybe we'll get to into games that are just easier to play and experience. But I always come into this wondering like at what point am I going to come into here and I'm going to just not have played a game, right? Like I played it for several hours, but I just effectively did not play it. And I think this is, so like my score means literally nothing. And I feel like this is the closest I've come to that so far. Um right, like
I mean, it's pretty. I think there might be like Metroid might be
mm,
a little close as well.
I don't know about that. I think that if it had not been for my
It's a
last
second
session
place. It's
playing,
second
yeah,
place for
sure,
sure.
fair. But yeah,
But
if it had
fine.
not been for my last session playing this game, geez, I basically would have done nothing. Because yeah, like coming into that session, effectively my thought was they added a bunch of new stuff, but I didn't really get to engage with it, and it plays it plays like Super Mario Brothers, but it's not made interesting for people who only play it like Super Mario Brothers, right? It's made interesting for people who can engage with all the stuff that I couldn't. Unlike Mario 2, it's not giving me a bunch of cool new character designs, or rather, it is, but I didn't get to see them yet. Um, that being said, And it would have gotten actually pretty low, and I was getting worried that you were going to get mad at me about that.
Oh, a good thing we avoided that.
Yeah. Um, that being said, I will say, like, in once I got engaging with the world map, I think it adds a lot to the gameplay experience. It really does help give you a sense of place. As you said, the fact that it like in Donkey Kong when I beat level 1, I was like, "Holy shit, there's a level 2," and that completely changes my opinion of the game. Going to the desert world and being like, "Now I'm in the desert world." I literally shift overworld screens. Everything is themed this way. The enemies are all different. It feels like I really am moving from kingdom to kingdom in a way that moving between worlds in the original Mario doesn't necessarily. Um, the fact that there are enemies to like avoid or chase after on the main screen, that adds a lot to it. And I do like or not Tanuki suit. I keep saying that, but it's raccoon suit. I do like raccoon
Same
suit
difference.
Mario a lot. Like when he did get to fly, I did think that was a lot of fun. I like spinning his tail. I like the fact that I can get things in the overworld and try to like start levels big. Sort of gives me an extra life in a way. Um, you know, I like the fact that when you lose all your lives, you start at the beginning of the world. So, like, once I did get to level 2, I could just spam, 40 lives away on bullshit and it was fine. Um, the fact that it doesn't have a save function is a pretty big miss, because having to go like through all of that again to even get to that checkpoint is a little bit daunting. Um, I the enemies, the sprites, a lot of them that I got to experience were relatively similar. I like the flying Goombas. I think that those are cool, and I like the little mini Goombas that they like throw down on you. But, most of the new stuff where that I saw that was like the fire snakes or whatever, they're cool, but they definitely don't rise to the same level as the original. The soundtrack, as you said, it's good, doesn't rise to the same level as the original. I like the sprites, they're fun and cute, but I think the original sprites are more fun and cute. Um, on the whole, I don't this is a game that I don't really know what to do with. It's a game that I kind of want to play more so that I can give it a better score, right? It's really how I feel about it.
Mm. Well, I mean, we could allow a score and then a reassessment,
Here's what I'm going to do
an
for now.
incomplete. Yeah.
I think that had I never made it past that stupid thing that was killing me, and that I shouldn't have even been on in the first place, I probably would have given this like maybe a let's say 6.9 or something, right? For having all the Mario elements, but just nothing in here that I was really getting to. The fact that I was eventually able to engage and they did help me out a lot, but only at the very end and I didn't really get to see it pay off. I kind of feel like I want to make this tie with Mario Brothers 2 for now. I want to give this a tentative 7.6. And maybe we'll do a gameplay footage video or I'll try it again. And I'll see if I can't get farther, and maybe by the end of the season or something, I'll come back and give this a new score.
Wow. This is unprecedented.
It is unprecedented, but I just don't know what to do with this one.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is why our show is good. Is because you are providing a perspective that I have literally never heard before. And that's good because that means we are not retreading old. Anybody can sit on a podcast and talk about why Mario 3 is good. No one is saying the things you're saying.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. This
That's
is a
good.
peek into my brain.
That's good podcast. Like the idea that this isn't good if you can't engage with the things in it. It's
But-
just like not a thing that ever entered my brain.
Yeah, but you know what? Original Mario Brothers is good if you can't engage with the things in it. That's what
Right.
makes it so high. That's what made it the game of the half year.
And again, similar for that game, there's just not a way I've ever thought of the game before because it's insane. So you're officially just like NA is what you're saying right now?
I'm tentatively giving it a 7.6.
7.6, right. Okay. 7.6.
With full intention to re-rate it.
Okay. Well, on my end, there's no, I'm not going to beat around the bush here or anything. I mean, this game, I think on just a pure technological level, first off, when again, you look at the original Mario as sort of the flagship title of the NES to launch it, and then you come to the end of the NES's lifespan and see this game, and I feel like, wow, the amount they were able to accomplish in that span of time, how much more proficient they became with this hardware and what they were able to squeeze out of it, to me is remarkable. This game just looks so much better, more fluid. It feels like more better animated. The controls are tighter. Everything about it, it's way bigger. There's way more stuff to explore and find in it. I think it's a real testament to just how good Nintendo is and how, the progress that video games had made from one point to another. This game is widely regarded as not only the best NES game, but many people consider it the best Mario game. Some people probably would throw this up there as the best game ever made. I wouldn't go that far, but I certainly can see the argument for best Mario game. To me, there's like so many that I just love that I think a lot of it depends on, well, which one did you grow up with? That was your favorite one. But I get it. To me, this represents in many ways the peak of what the NES was capable of doing. I love that the levels are quick. They're fun. Almost every single one of them has some kind of surprise or gimmick that makes you laugh and smile. There's so much to explore. You can play through everything. You can replay it again, skipping around and doing different levels if you want. I find a lot of joy replaying Mario games because I do feel this sort of playground-like element to them, that it's just fun to jump and move around in these worlds, regardless of the progress that you're making. It's a timeless classic as far as I'm concerned, and I consider it sacrilege to give it anything less than a 10 out of 10. I couldn't possibly, because it is, the original Mario's a 10 and this game's better. It's a 10. Now, we did say we were going to, a suggestion from Sean, start saying if these are a continue or a game over as well. It seems like it's a continue for both of us.
Yeah, I think it is a continue for both of us, for sure. Yeah, I already said. I will give this another shot and see.
Important to note. I think that maybe that just kind of says it all for your score. 7.6, but it's a continue.
Yeah, there you go.
But I mean, Mario 2 is cute and I like it, but the idea of it being the same as this is an insult.
It's hard to say, right? Because like what makes me intrigued by this is all the new like mechanics and sense of place details that I didn't get to fully engage with, so it's hard for me to rate directly. And what makes Mario 2 cool is all the fun little guys that I got sprinkled with right off the bat and just got to see them, right? Like there's Birdo, like you don't have to be very good at all to see a Birdo. I got to see Mouser. You know?
I guess.
That adds a lot to a game for me.
I guess so. Why don't we step into the retro review corner? We're going to look at what the critics of the past had to say. Here's one from EGM in April of 1990. And they give 4 different reviews. 4 different people give blurbs for each game. And Mario 3 got 4 9s. Some of the quotes here. The largest, most detailed, graphically superb, audio-enhanced 3 meg masterpiece, loaded with perfect power-ups and extraordinary execution. Most fun-to-play game I've seen on the Nintendo. This is one of the few games that comes close to a perfect 10 rating. I feel like there's something stingy with this magazine about 10s, because the next one says, Nintendo has done the impossible. They have created a game as close to perfection as you can get. Take the best from Super Mario Bros., add the changing personalities of Mario 2, and beef it up with 3 meg of power, hundreds of secrets and hidden items, and you get the best game ever made for the NES. That's not worth a 10? You said they've done the impossible. That's not a 10. What does it take to get a 10 from you? Does it have to suck your dick too?
It's got to be an arcade game. That's what he's saying. It's only for the NES.
All of them are the same. They're all like, this is the best game Nintendo has ever made. It fucking made me come in my pants 10 times. It's incredible. 9. Like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Just give it a 10, you cowards.
Maybe it's out of 9.
Maybe it's out of 9. No, this guy said it comes close to a 10. Meanwhile, right, the next column over is for the NES Batman game, and it got 3 8s. Like, really? Batman is almost as good as this? Fuck you. Fuck you. Here's another review from our favorite British publication, Total. There's some really good points in here.
Of these British publications, but
it's one of the ones we always go to is this one. This says, as you can imagine, the royalty of Mushroom World aren't too chuffed at having extra legs and fur. A lot of stuff like that in here.
I don't like it.
This says another smart feature is the 2-player game. With both Mario and Luigi on the case, you get to play alternate action scenes and can take it in turns to have a go at the tougher bits. It's so British. This is definitely one of the highlights of Super Mario Bros. 3, and I strongly suggest that you play with a chum. See? They think you should play with a chum.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a chum.
But then again, it doesn't really matter how you play it or what sort of games you like. Super Mario Bros. 3 is utterly superb. The graphics and sound are brilliant, and the size of the quest is mind-boggling. If Super Mario Bros. 3 got jammed in my NES and I could never play another game, I really wouldn't care. And they gave it a 98 out of 100. Then I got one here from a Game Zone, another UK publication. I really wanted to read this one because it opens up like this. When I was but a humble 13-year-old, I visited my school's career officer, a Mr. Pratt. Straight up, that was his name, in parentheses. We talked and talked, and several careers were suggested. Computer journalist, funnily enough, was not one of them, but being a plumber was. Mr. Pratt told me with slightly too much zeal, if you know what I mean, about ball cocks, U-bends, and cold water cisterns. But never once was saving Mushroom World from the evil clutches of Bowser mentioned. Does it feel like he's weirdly opening this review by implying that this guy was a pedophile?
Again, we've had this conversation before, but
No.
I think you're projecting onto this.
No. What does it mean with slightly too much zeal, if you know what I mean, about ball cocks, U-bends, and cold water cistern? What am I supposed to take from that? Please tell me.
That
What's
he
the
loves
alternate
plumbing.
interpretation?
Just because you don't know about plumbing things.
No.
It's only the fact that you even go into the plumbing stuff.
If you know what I mean.
That statement is weird, but the rest of it is just plumbing stuff.
There's no way to read if you know what I mean other than like wink wink if you catch my drift, eh? You know what I'm saying? That is universal code for I'm saying something sexual right now. If you know what I mean. It's fucking weird. I'm not the one projecting this. He wrote it. I am interpreting the text as written. Anyway, he gave it a 93.
That was kind of interesting to hear what this plumbing story was going.
I don't know.
I guess. Mario's a plumber, sure.
He wraps it up by saying, after playing Mario for hours on end, it makes me wonder if perhaps Mr. Pratt wasn't right after all. I do want to be a plumber.
That sucks.
Yeah. Also, interesting. I think this is also a UK magazine, and I think in the UK the release dates were even wackier because he is comparing the graphics and saying they're not as good as Sonic the Hedgehog. And I'm like, over here, Sonic the Hedgehog was not out yet when this game came out. So that's like a total other world to have lived in.
Mm-hmm.
But it just shows you how like crazy things were at the time that, you know, technology made no sense because you were getting stuff at different times. You didn't know when it really came out. What was the cutting edge? I don't know. Is it this game? Is it that game? It was chaos. Raccoons and tanukis living together.
Mm-hmm. You know, all these your review and all these other positive reviews, they don't actually make me like the game more. They actually kind of piss me off because it's like, oh, we loved it because we got to play it. You didn't get to. It's like almost taunting. I think I'm actually going to reduce my tentative score to 7.4 for that reason.
Good. You should do that. You know what? I'm just going to come right out and say it. You're just not smart enough to play this game. You don't deserve. I'm gatekeeping it from you. In fact, you know what? I'm not even gatekeeping it from you. There's a lock on the door and it's removed and you just don't see it because you're too stupid.
Yeah, well, you know when that lock got removed? It got removed the first time that I actually managed to make progress in the game. It wasn't removed until I managed to actually progress. At no point did I see that lock disappear until I was like already through.
And then you never died again?
I think I might have died once, but also...
We'll see the footage.
Yeah. We'll see the footage. You will.
Well,
you're going to like literally cry. You're going to sob and cry and scream. You're going to punch a hole in your wall. You're going to go through a roller coaster of emotions.
Oh, God. I mean, look, it's for the good of the show, right? What would we do if you were all of a sudden we're good at it?
Yeah, right? This isn't a show called like the Game Review Channel where two people play video games and, you know, give you a good review. This is bad with games. I can't play video games. That's the point.
That is the point. That is the point. Nonetheless, in honor of this legendary, groundbreaking, all-time classic video game that no one has ever said a bad word of until today, I prepared a tribute that I'd like to share with you and our listening audience.
Oh, please do.
Of course, from, you know, for me, the takeaway is I suppose it's really the raccoon suit is number one, but the Koopa kids have my heart, or the Koopalings, as they are. Sometimes they've kind of been changed to Koopalings later. Bowser also called Bowser in this manual, not King Koopa. Should note. Anyway, here's the song that I made for you. Make a jump from a ledge with a raccoon tail to the top of a cloud in a desert map. Run amok in the Mushroom Kingdom, hitching a ride on a ship as it's setting sail. Toadstool's castle looks really small from here. Fire spirals and bullets shoot at me. It all sucks because Bowser wrecked it. It's like a nightmare, and then at the end, Wendy, O, and Roy are fighting me with Lemmy and Ludwig and Iggy and Larry and Morton Jr. Fighting Koopalings is hard because they jump all around and they shoot rings and beams at me too. All alone playing World 6-4, not fair. 80 tries yelling after every fall. Not my fault that I died on that stage. Why did a plant pop up? Who put that there? But the worst are these 7 little brats who told them they could do their hair like that. Give us back those ones, you assholes. Flying in ships, think you're too good for castles. Wendy, O, and Roy are fighting me with Lemmy and Ludwig and Iggy and Larry and Morton Jr. Listen, Bowser, your kids suck. Who the hell did you fuck to produce such inbred little shits? When I was flying once, I saw this painted on a brick. I don't want the world, I just want World 1. Wendy's ugly bow, Ludwig's awful hair, Lemmy's dumbass ball, Iggy's four-eyed stare. Larry sucks, I don't need a reason. Mort Jr. sucks, I don't need a reason. All of them suck, but most of all, fuck Roy. Roy is stupid and he can go to hell. Wendy, O, and Roy are fighting me with Lemmy and Ludwig and Iggy and Larry and Morton Jr. Listen, Bowser, I'm tired. Can you just give her back to me now? Then we can all go home. Are they all the same age or what? Are they even your kids or your nephews? Like, how are you all related? Did you just find some Koopas outside on the street that you paid coins to fight me for you? Gotta say, not a great look to be a grown man stealing women and maybe abducting children. Listen, Bowser, I don't judge, but you're gonna get canceled one day, and I hate all your kids. Alright, that's the end of the song.
This is a really good song.
Yeah, no, it is. You're right.
Pretty big fan of it. Definitely one of the best ones so far.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. I think our fan base will agree.
Mm-hmm.
You'll notice that I jumped right into the song because we didn't have any emails this week.
Yeah, I mean, why would we? This is the beginning of the new semester, right? People gotta get their new content.
However, we are welcoming those emails from viewers and listeners alike. badwithgamespodcast@gmail.com. Give us your thoughts on Super Mario Brothers 3. How do you feel about this game, and what advice would you give to Will to help him? How would you fix him in gaming or in life? just hit him with anything you got. Or any other video game related topics. We'd be happy to entertain them here on the show. And definitely check out our Patreon, patreon.com/badwithgames. It's only $5 a month. You get bonus episodes plus access to our Discord. This week, we are covering a pretty important film that relates to this week's game, 1989's The Wizard. Pretty iconic, again, video game movie from the late 80s. I'm pretty excited to watch and talk about that one. Don't know about you.
I'm excited.
You might get some tips in it. It might help you with Mario 3.
Yeah, maybe I should have seen that first.
Yeah, maybe. Many kids in America did. And I think now we're also going to definitely have a video over on our @WorseWithGames YouTube channel, which is linked in the description as well if you can't find it. We have bonus videos over there. We're going to do some kind of other format to see if we can get Will through more of Mario 3 to appreciate it somehow. Perhaps one player, perhaps two player. Who can say? And as well as all the song parodies that have videos individually over there if you like them. And I guess that's everything this week, huh?
What are you, Canadian?
What are you not?
I guess they say or eh. They don't say ah.
Guess that's everything, eh? Take off, you hosers.
Who says ah?
Ah.
You do, I guess.
I don't know, is that Minnesota? They kind of say A too.
Yeah, they do.
Ah. You know who says ah? Ah. The Count. Next week. Next week.
Cut that. Sometimes you start bullshitting and I don't know that you're
Next
that
week,
we're not
neither do
done.
I. Next week, we've got another game coming, and it's also a big one. Again, we are going to move into more advanced games over the course of the season, but we still have a few loose ends that we're going to weave in here and there from an older era. And that includes next week's game, which is Dragon Quest, the original RPG in the Dragon Quest franchise on the NES. It's kind of our final RPG missing link we're going to be covering.
Okay. Then I'll fully
Pretty cool.
understand the lineage here.
You sure will. Stay tuned. Thanks for listening or watching. Gamers out! Thought you'd join in.